G'day there, I'm Dana from Piwokaka Valley Homestead, and today I am putting together some beef curry, but I'm also going to throw together a bean curry. I've just realised as I was cutting up all the ingredients that everything except for the cumin seeds I have grown in my garden. It's something that's really easy to put together and it's really delicious. Because I just realised that I should show you this after I'd already started preparing it. You can see here what I've already got. I've got some beans. This is a really good way of using some of the scarlet runners. They do make quite a thick, tough bean, especially if they're allowed to grow this big. That's in comparison to like my blue lake runners, which are more of one of these sort of snap beans that are a bit more common to use just as a boiled green bean. Whereas this is a bit more tough, a bit more fibrous, and the kids don't like eating them steamed because they are a bit tougher. So I've just cut them into little chunks. You can make them look a lot prettier than that, but that's what I've done. This is just one onion that I've sliced thinly. This is 3 small tomatoes and 1 sort of medium-sized tomato out of the tunnel house. Nothing fancy, just a variety of whatever we picked. I've got 1 little chili here off one of my chili plants. This is quite a hot chili, so I've just got 1 of those. And then I've got a tablespoon of cumin seeds, and I'm going to crush some garlic. These are my tiny little garlic cloves that I grew. If you've watched some of the videos about them, you'll know that they got attacked by rust, so they're not as big as they usually would be. So I'm going to do 4 of those. Now cooking this is really easy. You just need a good sized pan that'll fit everything in it. Put a big blob of butter in it to get it frying. Start with the onions and the garlic, cook those down, throw in the cumin seeds until everything's kind of fragrant, and then toss everything in together and just cook it down until it's thickened up and everything's cooked. I've just got these cooking on low, except I have just turned it up to about medium because it's not really doing anything. And I did add a couple of tablespoons of water because those tomatoes are quite dry. Roti's really easy to make, and it's not so much a recipe as it is a method really. So for our family I usually do 2 or 3 cups of flour. I'll do 3 today because we also use them as our tortillas or wraps as well, because it's so easy. And a big old teaspoon of salt, which might be sacrilege to some people, but I like my roti salted.
And then stir.
And then all you need to do is add some boiling water until it makes a good dough.
And then stir it for half an hour?
No, not half an hour, my love. But you should add just enough boiling water to make a soft dough. So once you've got yourself, it's quite hot, just watch your hands. Once you've got yourself a fairly soft dough, you can set it aside to cool down a little bit, and then you need to give it a good knead and then roll it into some discs. So I'm just going to dump this out onto a lightly floured bin. This is still extremely hot, but I want to give it a good knead to get it nice and smooth. Now what size you decide to cut them to very much depends on what you're planning on making with them. A roti is usually sort of a smaller sort of size. Often we'll make them into bigger rounds and use them as tortillas. Cut them all into rounds about that size. This makes rolling them out a lot easier and they cool down a bit faster. The next thing I do is shape them all into sort of flat rounds, which makes rolling them out just a little bit easier. Just roll them out. If you try and roll from the center to the outside and turn them around, you'll get a slightly rounder shape than you will if you just go backwards and forwards. However, I am not a skilled circle rolling person, so mine do tend to be all sorts of funny shapes. I genuinely don't care because they all get eaten anyway.
Yeah, because they're the same flavor.
And so you're looking for something that's probably, I don't know, maybe 3 millimeters thick, which is about, I think, 1/8 of an inch. Now over here you can see this bean curry is all cooked down quite nicely and the beans are nice and soft. So I'm going to turn that off and just stick a lid on it until dinner's ready. Okay, you just pop it in a hot pan like that. Give it about 30 seconds on one side and then throw it over to the other side. If like mine your pan gets too hot, you can just dump half a cup of water in it. It will boil and steam and go crazy, but it does drop the temperature of the pan really quickly, and then you can carry on cooking your breads. Don't do that while the bread's in there, do it on an empty pan. And then I just sort of swirl it around and tip it out in the sink, and it drops the temperature of it quite quickly. What you should be looking for is nice lightly browned little dots, not burnt all the way through crisp bits. And after 30 seconds to a minute, they should be pretty much cooked through. So you want any nice brown bits like that. And then you just pick them up and put them over here in a tea towel. Assistant. So this is how they should look with the little brown patches. This is not how they should look with the burnt through holes. What is it? A biscuit. So that's what's for dinner tonight at our house. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and I will see you in the next one.